Good morning and welcome to this edition of Joe on the Job Site. Today, my guest is Mark Ramos. He is a tool specialist with one of the local companies, and he has made his way up through sales, trying different avenues. And it's going to be a very interesting discussion today. So, Mark, how did you get started in sales? I mean, you seem to be pretty natural at it. You've got a good conversation with people. Tell us what you did with that.
Good question. Good morning, Joe, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. Um, I got into sales when I was a young kid. I started doing in the middle school into high school. I decided to had a friend that showed me the sneaker,
You talking about like sneakers for
like
your feet?
shoes. Yeah, shoes for your feet.
Yeah.
And he got me into that brand and learning about it. So he got me into my first pair. I did the first camp out where you have the camp out first sneaker into midnight and you stay until like 10 a.m. to get the shoe. It was a
So
process.
that was the way to go get the shoes.
Correct at the time. Yeah, it changed now, but
You
yes,
really wanted to sell things.
I really did. So that got my interest into the shoe business. And I was in middle school and high school. I decided to buy two shoes at first. So I bought one for myself, and I bought another pair. So I was like, what can I do with this? What can I figure out anything how to work this out? So the second pair I actually sold. I ended up making like a profit of about 40, $50. I was like, wow, that was pretty easy. That was simple. That was not too hard. And then to high school, I really got into it and I started buying one pair for myself because I wanted to collect. And I bought 3 to 4, almost 5 pairs, and I would sell them. And that was how I got the drive into sales. One big shoe that I did buy, I bought it for $150 and I sold it for 1,500. That was like my biggest profit.
So what made them so special to sell for that price?
It was the collaboration. So it was a brand, Jordan Brand and Travis Scott. They did a collaboration, a shoe together. And since they was like a famous brand and a rapper, that allowed them to get a really big interest into it. So a lot of people really wanted that shoe. So I was like, I'm not keeping this. I'm gonna just sell it, make some profit off it. Yeah.
So when how many pairs of shoes would you say you bought and sold through that time you were doing it middle school, high school?
Bought probably about 200 pairs, and I probably sold out of those 200 like 150 probably.
Okay,
Roughly.
so now how many pairs have you got sitting at home, like collecting? Do you got a big display of them, or you keep them in a box in the
So I have
closet?
those displays that you open that has a lid, and you open the front so you can grab them easy, and
Yeah.
and you can see them. So it's a high number. I would say last time I count, I know it was at 100. Don't know how long ago that I count, so I just say it like that.
I knew a guy that collected comic books. He had
Okay.
one room dedicated to comic books. Now, have you got your
I
room
do have a room
dedicated?
dedicated for sneakers. I do.
You know, it's hard for me to find the sneakers because I wear a 13 triple E or bigger.
That is hard.
And the hard part about it is some of them are cut narrow, and I have to go to the 14, and then I got gunboats on.
Very true.
And
very
my
true.
toes don't go to the end, but I got the width that I need.
A little big though.
Oh, they were kind of big.
Yeah,
So you were a sneaker
I
salesman.
was. Yes.
I like the word sneakers. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that for years. When I was a kid, we had sneakers. They were called Chucks.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They were the
Yeah,
Converse brand,
Correct.
and on the back of them had the name Chuck Taylor.
I did.
They were nicknamed Chucks.
Yes.
So when you moved on from high school, what did you do after that?
So after high school, I went to college. I was in college, and during my college, I actually worked for a beverage manufacturer. During college, I went into marketing for business,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, that's what I was working for the beverage company. I did work with them throughout my whole college and a little bit after college, so about 6 years. So I was with that company. I was an account manager for them, so that's what the sales aspect kept going into. Um, Sold a lot of different beverages, different displays, big box stores, Walmart, Target, bigger stores like that. That's what I was basically working with.
So did you create the displays and stuff, or did you actually set them up and
So if you have you ever been to a Walmart, a big Walmart, right? And you walked in there, especially in Florida, there's a big display of Disney, like Mickey Mouse or NBA to Madness basketball.
mm-hmm.
We will make those out of our 12-pack cases. So we would take each individual 12-pack and stack them. And there was a sheet you had to follow how to make the outline so it came out for the Disney side of it. Yeah, very very time consuming.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Then, so how long did you work for that
I
company?
worked for 6 years for them. So during college as well, and then a little bit after college, I was hoping that I can grow in that company and opportunities after college. Different things happened in the way that allowed me to see growth and opportunity somewhere else. But after I was there for 6 years, I did stuff with like I said, account management, ordering systems. We did more. We got there early, like let's say 3 in the morning, just to get pallet delivery, and because I had to stock the store as well. So
Oh,
I
wow.
would stock the store, make sure it's ready, good to go for customers. I was usually done by like with a store within 3 to 4 hours, depending on the store. And then I have to sit down and do a delivery, or order. I had to make an order in the system. So that was
Oh.
another like hour and some change. Yeah. So
So when after your 6 years with that beverage company, what'd you do next?
I went to another beverage company. It was more on the energy side, basically. So very, very good company. I became an account manager there, but it was more with mom and pop shops. I did more with direct small stores collecting and selling their brand. We did deals like the more you bought, the more you got for free, which is pretty cool. There was a lot of
Can I
kickers.
get on one of them deals?
You
I like
can,
that
you
idea.
can. And then there was kickers. So that was the big difference of the sales from the other beverage company. We had kickers that were
So what's a kicker?
so it's basically that's our name we call it, but it's like a bonus. In other words,
Oh, for you.
for correct. So
Oh, okay.
you had your own accounts and you had a certain threshold, and every month there was a kicker or bonus you had to hit. If you hit all three of them, you got extra bonus. So that was the challenge for every single person to try to hit that extra bonus. So it's pretty fun. It was very interesting when some relationships you have in the field and you're like, hey, I really need this. But a couple weeks left and I need to get this done. So can you help me out? You know, very
So
fun.
you didn't ask them. So from the first beverage company to the second beverage company, was it opportunities that had you change between the two that you were looking for?
Correct. I found a big opportunity with them, a more aspect like learning more into sales, I would say, because it was account manager, but that was the first beverage company was account manager, but it was more in the sense of kind of retail, more big shops and more ordering system versus this one was more I made my own displays, my own in more stuff I brought in, the more money I received. So it was more on a higher level scale of sales, I would say. That was more of a great opportunity.
So you got more money.
Agree. Yes, I did. I did. So the opportunity was great. It definitely helped
So you
out.
got the opportunity to learn something new and different, and then you got the opportunity to earn more money
Correct.
to advance your career, so to
Yes.
speak.
Correct.
So do you see a large difference between the two, between where you're at now? Because now you're doing your tool sales.
Correct.
What did you do after that, or did you move on into?
So I was during college. I decided I thought I got a marketing degree. So I thought I wanted to go into marketing, which sales is somewhat marketing, but it was digital marketing more.
Digital. What was the difference between digital and being there doing it, marketing?
So digital more online posting, social media, pushing the brand and stuff like that. So I got a lot of information. I learned a lot off it, which helped me into my role now. Um, but I noticed that it wasn't something I want to do. So I something that I got, pretty. I wouldn't say bored, but I was wanted to grow more and do more, and I felt like it was more things to do I could do out there. So I went back to my roots after that to like sales, like really into sales. So I joined a tool manufacturer, and it was out doing retail sales for like big box stores like Home Depot. That was a big store I did pretty
So
much.
that digital marketing you looked at, how long did you try that before you
I did it
moved?
for like about a year. It was an internship. So during like college time, during the internship time. So
Okay.
mhm.
So you realized not for me. I want to try
Not
something
for
else.
me. Yeah. It was just not working out.
Okay, then you went to the next company.
Correct.
And what were you doing for the next company?
I was working, I was they call it a field and marketing representative. I believe that's the title. But basically I was a ambassador, I would say, for the brand. It was a tool company. I was in a Home Depot helping customers find tools, find the solution for them. Taking over end caps. When you walk in, there's little side things. We took over some different merchandise space and stuff like that.
So
So
you set up the retail space for retail stores to come in and do it.
Correct.
Then did you do any like one-on-one tool sales, or was it mostly with established businesses that was selling the tools for your
So
company?
I did one-on-one two sell with customers coming in, and they would help. That would be like consistent customers coming every day. They would buy certain tools and certain deals that I would help them with. But we also work well with the pro desk, and the pro desk is also like pros that have accounts that are there buying stuff, trying to find the best deal. So I
Come
would
in and
work
buy 10 of these and
correct
10
and
of
see
the
what I
10.
could do to help them. Basically, we also did demos. So we did demos in the store. Well, how about let's say a brand new drill come out? I'll set up a table with drills and bits, show them people at a tent, and have people try out the tool and tell them the benefits of it, the difference of an old tool versus this new one.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So in your turn, and you're going through your beverage sales and your marketing sales and stuff, did you have someone that mentored you or brought you into it? Because like you spoke of the sneakers.
Correct.
How in the world did you decide to go, I'm going to sell sneakers? Because I would have never thought of that.
Correct. Like I said, my friend helped me get into sneakers in general. I think the big aspect that helped me a lot was my father. My father was a huge. He kind of taught me as a young age how to hustle, move things around, look for stuff, and I helped him actually do certain things in the beginning to sell certain items and make him help. Like I helped him sell his house. So house he had, I was very young. He told me, "How can I sell this house?" And I'm like, I don't know. It was like maybe high school. I went into online, looked up Craigslist at the time was the big thing to sell items at. So I posted it there. I sold. I had a few customers. I would help them. My dad didn't speak much English, so I kind of helped them with that aspect. So I think me learning from him and seeing little things that he did here and there, try to make ends meet, help me. Like, oh, I like to talk and sell people and sell items to people and help find a solution for people that are looking for something.
Yeah. You're talking about helping your dad with sales. I've always been, when I was doing certain things, I have two daughters and I'd take them along with me.
Yeah.
My daughter was coming of age to get a car. She wanted a car. And I said, look, you find the car, I'll look at it with you and see what we can do. And after about 5 or 6 cars, I mean, some of the cars I didn't want to haul home. We found this one. It was the typical lady owned it, drove it one way downhill to church and
There you
grocery
go.
store.
That's the
But
best ones.
it was similar to that. She kept it in the garage and she had it front since it was new, and she had to go to a nursing home. Anyway, we went to buy the car and it was had a set price, and I test drove it, looked at it, and I'm asking my daughter, "What do you think?" And she said, "Dad, I really like the car." I said, "Okay, well, let's talk to the lady."
Mhm.
We talked to the lady, and I made her an offer. And I first said, "How much cash right now?" She gave me a cash price, and I said, "Well, I got X amount, and can you go to?" And so we're waiting for the lady to answer, and my daughter steps up, pulls me in, and I bend down. She says, "Dad, I have the other 200."
Oh,
That was all I was moving for, was $200 more. She said, "Dad, I have the other 200." Well, we just bought the car.
that's it. Did she tell you how she got the other 200?
She had saved it.
Okay, good, good.
So,
There you go.
it was a $4,000 car. I had offered her 3,800, and she looked up and she goes, "Dad, I got the other 200."
There you
Before
go.
the lady could say a word, I said, "Okay,
Okay,
sold."
sold. There you go. That's a story.
So in the as you move through your variety, you've done sales you said your dad was a mentor
Correct.
that helped you move up, and because you were more or less, because he didn't speak English.
Correct.
But did you have, when you were in your marketing job or your beverage companies, did you have someone that kind of taught you how to do sales or give you leadership in it? Because you seem to do pretty well at it just
Yeah.
from what we've talked about.
Yeah, I had a few people throughout the different beverages companies. There was a guy that worked there. He was more, I would say, a district sales manager. He kind of taught me a little bit of how certain things would work and some lingo you can say to help to bring sales in and what would you do. So there was some things he taught me, little words here and there, and how to talk to certain managers, because there, believe it or not, there's some managers out there that you got to be very careful, what you say. So like, some people work out. He taught me how to be well with people. I would say the best aspect to help out, different scenarios with people.
How, so in the mentorship, which is whatever you're doing in life, there is somebody that helps you along or provides a mentorship or
Correct.
things like that. What what do you and in your sales, what do you think was one of your hardest sales you had to do? And then how do you approach somebody when you're in sales cold turkey?
Correct. Right.
How do you
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah. It's I would say it's tough, like especially during the Home Depot time when I had to when a customer comes in from a different tool manufacturer and you're like, all he wants is this one. This is all he wants is all and he has all his tools are one brand.
Right?
And you're like, this guy, you have a good relationship with them, you're trying to figure out how to, cross over to another brand. It was very difficult that time. We worked on a few different I taught him every day, saw him all the time. He walked in the store consistently probably 2 times a day. And I
This
was
one person
this
did.
one person, because he'll come by and buy from that same location, but he would buy another tool brand. And I was like, man, like how can we get you to, switch over, like to, what can I do? But I always talk to him, show him little things here and there, show him different demos, give him a little, free things to give him for free that I say, hey, try this out. Eventually one day comes in and he said one of his tools broke down.
The one of Muse got him to buy or from
No,
the other?
one that a different brand.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, what do you, and they didn't have anything in stock. So I was like, in my head, this is a great opportunity. This is the one. So I told him that I show him the tool. I show him which tool it was. I told him, I think I believe it was circular saw. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like it was a circular saw and a impact. And he was like, "Oh, I'm adamant about getting this. I can get a different Home Depot." I was like, "Wait, before you leave, like let me show you how this works." I was like, "You have a 90-day return because that's what the time was. You have 9 days to return the tool.
So 90 days, if he didn't like the tool,
He could return it."
he could just bring it back and say, not what I wanted.
Correct.
I want to do something
So
else.
I used that. I said, "You got 90 days to return it. Just try it out. Give me a chance." And I was like, "If it works out well, I'll give you 2 extra batteries for both of the tools. I'll give you something to help you out because you're giving me a chance." And he was like, "Let me think about it." Typical. Let me. He walked away. He was like, and he tried to get a different associate to help him to find another tool. And I came back. I was like, "Brother, give me a chance. Like, just give me a simple chance. You got 90 days to try it out. See what you think." So you know what? I've been seeing you a lot. You've been trying to get me. Let me give you a chance. So that one little chance, I think, makes a difference for people. So gave me a chance. He bought the tool. And about a month later, 2 months later, ended up buying all the different brands, returning all his other tools and buying different brands. So it worked out pretty good. It was really hard in the beginning because he kept coming back and back, but it was a process. So
well, you gotta think about it. If you've already got one brand
correct.
and you got extra batteries, you got multiple chargers, to switch to another brand, that was a big step.
It was, yes.
And then he doesn't know the brand. He already knows his brand that he's got at
used to
home.
it.
He's
Mhm.
used to it. He
Mhm.
knows how to, when he puts his hand on it to use it, he knows where
Correct.
all the buttons are and everything. It's not a search.
hmm
And to get him to sell that and then get him to buy the tools and start a new brand, that's quite a bit of
It's
work.
tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough, especially when you're already having the brand already, having multiple, like you said, multiple batteries. It's tough to get into that to switch over, especially because you think my tools work. Why do I need something else?
Yeah. So that was your hardest sale.
One of
Have
my
you-
hardest. Yeah, correct.
I've not been into sales, but I've been around a lot of people in my career. What were some of the ones that were not very receptive to you, and how did you handle those people in sales?
Correct. I would think of one that was very not respectful, probably back to when I was in the high school sneaker days. So there was a guy that was trying to get me to get a deal off me, try to get very low price. Um, he was trying to tell me that, hey, what can I get the best price for this sneaker? And I was like, man, I really lowered it very, very well. I'm only making a little bit of profit. Like it's hard to get this sneaker. I know most people that want to get this shoe, like we're standing there. We're outside. We're talking. We're already in the shoes in his hands and everything. I'm
You're
like,
in the sales mode.
I am. I'm like, I was like, I got other people that want this. So like, what we doing? And he was just telling me like, oh, can you just keep going $10 cheaper? And I was like, yes, I could do that. Oh, but can you go $5 cheaper? I'm like,
Five more above
five more.
the 10.
Correct. And I'm like, all right, I can go a little more. And he's like, but can you go a little bit 5 more? So he kept trying to push down.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, man. I already got down enough. Either you want this or you don't, because I have other opportunities. I could probably get rid of this. And if you're just making this, and he kept persisting and kept trying. And I didn't know how to. In the moment, I was like, how do I stop this conversation? How do I,
How do you control it?
how to
Yeah.
control it? And the best way I thought was, I was like, I just stopped going. I was like, listen, when you have a final price that you think you have, let me know. I'm gonna hold it for you. I'm gonna give you a week. I'm gonna hold it for you, give you a week. If you get the price that I asked for, we'll talk about it. Cause you keep going down every $5, $5. You're trying to get me to the point that is basically free at this point. So eventually, a week later, he liked that he called me about 2 days before a week.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, do you still have a sneaker? I was like, I kept my word. I told you I'll keep it for a week. And he came to me, said, hey, I'm gonna get the price you asked for. So he gave it to me. He gave me the price to talk. But I think what it was that if I calm and collective and told him I kept my word on something, that tell him, hey, I will hold it for you until you decide to get the amount that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then a week later, he bought in the buy. And he actually, I think he appreciated me trying to put my efforts. It was tough to make him like, hey, easy. Yeah.
Well, you hit a key point right there.
Correct.
In sales or in any part of your career in work, keeping your word.
Correct.
If you say you're going to do something, you do it. The other part of that is if you say you're going to do something, and one of the things that I always was up against was deadlines. I will have it to you by this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens and you can't. You've got to communicate to the person. You don't just be silent and let the day pass and they wonder what happened. You communicate to the person and say, all right, I ran into a snag. I'm not going to make the date. I'm not going to make the time, or I have to sell the product. I've got another offer on it, more than you wanted for it.
Correct.
And it's sales, whether you're in real estate, tools, or your commitments in your everyday life, wherever it's at. It's a basic principle.
Keeping your word.
Keeping your word, making sure that you're there and you make your promises, you stay with it, and then communicate why it happened. You need to change. And that's a big thing. And from listening to you and your sneaker sales, you
laugh about it, but it's a market. It's a market.
You learned that lesson pretty early.
I did as a young kid. Yeah.
I was in the industry I was in, which was I started out in commercial in construction. Sales was with the owner. Did the owner feel comfortable with you?
Correct.
And a lot of times it was us walking through the project, taking the time to paint the vision of the building. So you're walking through a building, it's metal studs and concrete and bare steel and stuff, and the owner wants to walk. Now the architect, when he walks, he sees it. He's already done it in his mind. But walking the owner through the job and painting the picture of, okay, and they see the job. Okay, this is going to be here when you get done. This is your staircase. This will have a glass handrail around the opening. You'll be able to see through it, your vision pass, all of the colors that you've looked at through the project. And you're going to see the flooring and what your tile's going to stop here. Your LVT continues on. All of those good little parts that help him see the job. That's what it takes. That was the type of sales I had.
Correct. Yeah.
And an owner, when we used to do presentations, the owner wants to hear from the superintendent because he wants to understand that superintendent sees my job, paints a picture of where and how he's going to build it. And then he's also in the presentation and he communicates well. And what he says in the presentation, he does in the field. And the owners will come out and look to see if you did what you said. And then they'll ask you for commitments. They'll ask you for changes. And then you look at them and say, okay, we can do the change, but here's what we need to do to create it. And then stick to the timeline and communicate the timeline if it changes. That's a sales and construction.
That is very true.
So now you've moved on to, we can see the company
little toys over here
you work for. And I like the display here because it picks a tool in multiple trades. And we've got 3 or 4 minutes left. And the one thing that I see in here is that your company is creating tools for each craft.
Correct.
And so you're out in sales for this for I can say the name because it's all over the
You
table
can,
here.
yeah, man.
DeWalt.
Yeah, I am.
What is your sales like for this? How do you get your clients to see your tools, and how do you sell your tools? What is your process for that?
So basically, we're basically like to say, I would say we're a tool manufacturer, but we're not just a tool manufacturer. We have to have a long partnership with the contractors and the associations out there in the field. So my whole bad thing about trying to push the sales is trying to have that relationship, that partnership, and grow that aspect of that tool. So just be a resource to them as well as help. So whatever tool best fits them and the situation they're in on a job is what I'm looking for them. Yeah.
How many do you ever have people come back and say, "No, it's not the tool I want. It doesn't work the way I want it," and ask to return it?
Correct. Yeah, I have. And then the best thing I tell them is what the feedback is. So I could bring that feedback back to our leadership to tell them why they didn't like it, what was the reason, what we need to work on for the next tool or the next opportunity,
Mhm.
so we could work on the improve our tools even more.
So I can see the advancement in the tools from when I started buying DeWalt. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
I have a whole bunch of them at home. My kids love to get them for Father's Day and
There you
Christmas and
go.
stuff. There's a couple here that I don't have, but my first tool, my first thing that I ever bought that was battery powered was a Makita. It was
Ooh.
a 9.5 volt, had that long, thin battery.
Correct.
And I was installing doors and hardware with it. It was a 2-speed, and I could put one battery in the charger and I needed 2 batteries for each drill that I had, and that's what I used. They didn't have impact drivers. You just had
No.
the drill. And the other thing I bought from them was a little mini skill saw.
Ah.
And when I was installing a dishwasher into a person's house, because I was moonlighting, and I put the dishwasher in someone's house, I had to cut the cabinet, and that saw cut so fine and so slow, and it fit perfect.
Just what you
But
needed.
yeah, so your job is to help the guys in the field get the right tool
For the right job.
and
Correct.
and that's what I learned with those particular pieces.
Hmm.
And in a few minutes, I know you have to take a run and
I
do
do.
a
Yeah.
tool sales, but when you sell these, do you just carry them in your truck? You're ready to sell them, and if someone says, "Hey, bring me, I need this," or you're on a job and the guy says, "I'm looking for an impact driver."
Yeah, we'll have like all the new product in our truck. So I'll drive around to job, showing the new product. Some of the times the relationships that I built, the people would tell me where to go, or I'm in an office with a vice president of a company. I bring there, do trainings for them and different things. So it just depends what the job and how it entails. So most of the time, I have a brand new product in my car driving around. So I want to show the new greatest things out in the field. So it just depends on the situation, and that's when the conversation opens more. Like, yeah, I can show them the new drill, but they're like, "Hey, I'm actually looking for this solution. This was going on." That opens the conversation to the other tools that they need for the
Yep.
help. Yeah.
I've seen a variety of the DeWalt products, and I mean, right now we just have these tools are 20 volts. I've seen them with higher
Oh yeah,
voltage than
yeah,
that.
there is.
I watched a guy use a big rotary hammer drill and drill hundreds of holes to
Yeah,
put up a fence around the track with one.
correct. Yeah,
And I actually had a weed eater that was battery powered,
there you
and
go.
it did pretty doggone good. It was really nice. So, what do you think when you're out in sales and yours is word of mouth walking in, and then the company says, "Hey, we've got these referrals." How else do you find ways to find locations to solicit the sales?
Correct. Yeah, we get usually a monthly basis. We get a Dodger report that shows the job sites around the area, and you can see allows you to go to each spot and see. Also, what another thing is when I'm just driving around looking for opportunity, when I have something to do, I would drive around job to see the job sites around our area, stop by, say hi, say hello. And I try to who's on the field, who can I talk to? So it's all different trades around there. So I try to just go around each. Usually, it's pretty when you get around each person, you get connected with a lot of them.
Develop the relationship,
correct, yeah,
so that they see you, they're happy to see you,
correct,
whether
yeah.
they're buying or not.
Buying or not, just to see my face and someone as a resource. Yeah. Mhm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I understand you have to make a sales call
I
coming
do.
up, and I'd like to have you come back. And one of the things that always interests me is there's a lot of design tools and specific uses.
Mhm.
This one you use for refrigeration line
Correct.
to bring it in and out
Correct.
for
For soft copper. Mhm.
that's a specific tool. that you would use.
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of other ones. So I'd like to talk a little bit about it. And then one of the other things is the development of them and
Correct.
the challenges you have with the tools and the guys bring to you. So I appreciate you being here today. Can you make your call and come back?
Yeah, I can make my call and I'll come back. Yes, sir.
All right. So let's make the sales call and then let's come back and run another
Because the
feature
call
of this.
is, very important. These people.
Well, your customer.
Your
Those are
customer base. Yeah.
those are the ones that's the ones that comes priority.
Correct.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and
Thank you.
look forward to a couple hours. You'll be back, and we'll pick up where we left off. So,
Thank you.
This is Joe with my guest Mark Ramos, with Joe on the Job Site, and this finishes this edition. Thank you.